Hey fam, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining me in another round of an all signs tarot reading. Round here, I like to do messages of encouragement. That's usually what's coming through. Sometimes it's a bit of a, encouragement, but either way, it's positive vibes. So if that sounds right up your alley, hey, it's nice to meet you. My name is Amy. And if you're returning, thanks. Let's see what kind of messaging we can get into this round. I've already done the pre-shuffle, so let's go ahead and cut the archetypes together. The ocean. Well, we just recently saw the river, so it was bound to be the ocean at some point. This has been quite a journey, and now the unconscious, the depths, the incomprehensible. The power of the ocean is unmatched. To step into its salty waters is to step into the unknown. By its sheer volume, the ocean represents the unconscious, all that is beyond our understanding. We cannot live within the ocean. We cannot claim it, manage it, or own it. It rejects our every attempt to dominate nature. Yet amid its overwhelming power, it calls to us, inspires us, and invigorates our life on land. It dissolves the little us into the big us. When the energy of the ocean is present, there is change stirring that is beyond any change you've known before. The ego must dissolve. The saline swells work on your very cells, your fibers, your deepest underlying beliefs. Like Aphrodite, we rise from the ocean's froth a new being. Life is change. Let the wave crash. Goodness gracious, man. You know, we've received this card once upon a time a while ago, and it just didn't quite hit that deep then. Study waves. Touch their surface. Get in the water, no matter where you live. Each drop is part of the whole. The ocean is in every tear. The ocean displays every emotion without shame. To witness its glassy moonlit surface and its unforgiving storms is to know the full spectrum of the human experience. The ocean's also really freaking deep. So it seems to me like we're reaching that point, at least some of us are, where now that we got that out of the way, right? It's kind of like getting to the page after having gotten through the whole dang suit, right? After the promises of the aces, right? And now here we are. Anything's possible. The Oracle deck. Excuse me. Gold. You don't need someone else to fix you. And on the bottom of that, we have stars. You can manifest your every wish, and I'm going to go ahead. It just keeps getting better and better. The world awaits you. I'm going to leave this face up. The thing with alchemy, the thing with manifestations, is the thing you've been figuring out and working. Figure out how to harness what it truly means, not just the glimpses, right? This is the nitty-gritty of life. The kind of stuff that makes you think, oh wow, I thought I knew. I thought I understood. You know, the difference between being young and a child under the guardianship of others and being an adult, able to make your own choices, similar to that, akin to that, except you've been an adult. You've been making choices. And it's as if a door, at least one, right, opened, and suddenly there are no more walls. But we've received that box card a lot recently, right? Which speaks more of layers, you know? Unlocking the next level. Recognizing that there are levels and it's okay. It's more wisdom gained. It's the learning process, the evolutionary process of a human soul. Not only have you been figuring out what's best for you, how to heal, how to move on, and what that looks like for you, how you feel like you're feeling differently now. You're still you, hey. You're still you. And maybe that's the fun portion of it all, getting to realize just how much you've already been there this whole time. Now you're just taking off the tethers. I'm just now noticing that this is the 36 and this is the 5 and this is the 35. Very interesting. But now you're realizing, but wait, there's more. It isn't just healing and being okay and recognizing that it's an ongoing process. Preferably lifelong, right? There's more. There really is more. And it becomes easier to let go of the specifics, these ideas, these old ideals that you used to have, because you're getting to the core of it all. You've reached the ocean. You're no longer in a lake or a river or a pond. You've made it to the ocean. The world awaits you. The universe awaits you. Where shall we go next? Okay, Fan, do you know what time it is? It's clarification time. Yeah. This is YouTube. We like to lighten the mood here. May have noticed if you're returning that the mood's extremely light. Dude, I have been meditating so much. I can't even begin to tell you how chill I am right now. It's like I'm still silly Amy and stuff and all the fun. I love sparkles, but I've been meditating a lot. Like a lot. It's been pretty good. I'm just saying, if you're new here, I like to think of tarot as a story. There's a tale to tell this round. Every round. Where shall we begin with chapter 1? At the end of the previous chapter, a little bit of a recap, if you will. See, the 10s tend to be the end of the chapter. Chapter 1 and chapter 10. This previous bit has been burdensome. It has weighed you down. Very heavy on those shoulders. And some of these things along the way, especially now that, we've been in it for a while, it's like, wait, that didn't even belong to me. Why did I put that on my back too? There are those we care for that we're willing to do that for. And then there are those who made us believe, maybe in order to belong, and that's why that word was coming out. We've been led to believe that we need to do certain things. in order to be okay, to complete our goals, to get our rewards, to be good, right? We've been figuring that out, and it's been a long, hard road, and that portion's over. For some, it's just, oh, you're so close. You're so close. Please don't give up. Home's right there. It's right there. The finish line, what everything has been for. But this is still chapter 1. What's chapter 2? Oh, because everything's going to be all right. Why would we be willing to work so hard if we didn't want everything to be okay? If we didn't want everything to work out? There are those we love, those we cherish, and then there just happen to be other human beings out and about, you know what I mean? And if hurt hurts, what if everyone were happy? What would the world look like then? What would your world look like then? To go from the weight of the world to everything being balanced. This doesn't have to be money. There could be things that you have to share with others that you don't even realize are as impactful as they may be. To exist is to enable existence. Creating is creating. It doesn't matter whether you're painting or dancing or singing or doing yoga or, enabling jobs. There are a lot of people out there. There's always someone willing. And there's room for everyone, especially once we realize it, right? Balance. In case you're not grasping it, they're even holding a scale. Balance. To give is to receive. To love is to be loved. When we're in balance, instead of holding things like love conditionally. What's the point of that? How is that enabling balance? What is it all for if literally everything is a commodity? Isn't that the past? Chapter 3. Wisdom gained. Again with a 6 and a 5. This could be, institutions, like religious institutions. It could be being a life coach or a teacher. It could be just vlogging. Like whatever way you find to use your wisdom to help others. Do some monetize that? Yeah, why not? It's almost 2025 at the time of filming. And didn't we already talk about how so many people in this world, so much in this world has turned everything into a commodity? You have a right to earn as well. Regardless of how hard you work, right? That's the idea. There's working hard, and there's being true to oneself. Do they go together, or is one a lie? I think that's what a lot of us have been figuring out. Either way, let there be balance. Interesting that these two came up side by side. It took me a minute to even get there. Hello. You have so much more to share than mere commodities, than mere money. You have wisdom, you have you and your light and your smile, and you're just holding the door open for someone on the way in or out or whatever. All of those little acts of kindness, it all adds up. It's all positive vibes. And if love and positivity and our minds being able to create these wonderful lives and realities, if it's all about perception, right? That's another theme. What's chapter 4? 654. This isn't only just about marriage, unions, celebrating unions. It can also be about community. Feeling like you fit in now. You've figured out the key for you anyway, for yourself in your life, which is your right and privilege, whoever you are, wherever you're from. That can sound like esoteric woo-woo. But part of this reaching the ocean is reaching those deeper truths, right? Within ourselves and for our own lives. As we're happy, we're able to share and spread happiness. It emanates. And some of us have spent too long in the darkness not realizing that even there we were like flames amidst moths. There's been an ability to recognize who one truly is. What's going to come up underneath the Ten of Wands? Strength. Keep sliding them over further, and they don't need to go that far, huh? For those still at this point, it's been taking unbelievable amounts of strength to continue in this spot. And you wouldn't think so because, sitting apart from it, able to look at this card, you can see how close they are. It's so obvious from the viewer's chair, right? It's kind of like, I don't like playing puzzle games as far as video games go, right? I just want to, But if I'm watching, say, someone on YouTube or Twitch playing a puzzle game, I can see it all so clearly. It's almost like it's lit up or something. It's so obvious. It's just simply so obvious from the viewer's chair, right? That's why it's kind of annoying watching TV and stuff, because all too often writers in those fields are kind of dumbing it down, right? You don't have to think too hard. You're not supposed to be having to think too hard. It's TV. I'm not trying to say there are no good storytellers out there. I'm just speaking in averages and generals. It's a bit insulting to the intelligence of the general populace. It's easier to see from this perspective. But when you're in it, being reminded of you're so close, just keep going, can feel like the insult to your intelligence sometimes, right? Those default things that people say because they think it's the right thing to say at that moment and whatnot. When you're having to pull from your deepest reserves in order to pull it off. This recent time has been about getting down into the roots of things, not the symptoms, the root causes of things. So you're darn tootin', that takes a lot of strength. And the wonderful thing about it is that's life. There's always another suit in the deck of cards. There's always more lessons. There's always new things. And thank goodness, otherwise it would get so boring. We keep growing and we keep learning what is like, what it all is, what it's meant to be for us. It's unfortunate that for so many of us, it takes literal decades. Thank goodness for having them. You know, it's kind of annoying. That's one of the main reasons why ageism and crap like that is so annoying. The older you get, the wiser you become because you've survived. You did it. You got to the next level and you realize, oh, well, now those things don't seem so big anymore. Unless you're an exception. You're allowed to be exceptional. This is your life. You already are exceptional. You are the exception in your life. And you have the strength to do all of this. And you just keep learning and gaining wisdom along the way. Under the Six of Pentacles is the Ace of Swords. You just keep winning. You just keep learning and gaining more and more clarity. Realizing what pieces of advice, what parables, really mean to you now. What it all really means to you now. Sometimes you don't want to get that deep. It's okay. You don't have to. I like to. But sometimes I just want to watch TV too and just, you know, lose track of time going from video to video on YouTube. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you learning? Are you happy? What's coming up underneath the Hierophant? We like to know. We like to learn. However we digest it, right? We don't like not knowing. It's the not knowing that can be scary, that can be frustrating, that can trigger us. The last time I felt that way, and so on. The ocean can be scary. But notice how in the moon, it's representing a particular point in the path, isn't it? This lobster or crawdad, what have you, coming out. These animals at one point in the spectrum. There have been so many times that you did not know what to do, and you figured it out. That's what life is. Learning and remembering that you can figure it. You'll figure it out. Right? Hopefully it becomes easier and easier. And you don't have to have all of the answers. It doesn't matter if you know everything. Especially if you want to keep learning. I like to play EverQuest, the second round of those. There's always something to do. No matter what, there's always something to do with EverQuest. Are you kidding me? At least one expansion that you pay for every single year since launch in 20 freaking years. There's always something to do in EverQuest too. And then they have these things called game updates that are actually free X packs. Are you kidding me? There's always something to do. There's always new places to explore, new stories to enjoy, whatever formats you prefer. Guess what? There don't have to be, there's no competition. There is no competition. You are one of one, just like I am. You don't have to have all the answers. There's always plenty to learn still. It all depends on how we handle that, how comfortable we are with that fact. Right? People like to talk, 1,000 hours or whatever the heck it is to become a master. Are you mastering or are you living? What's going to come up underneath the Four of Wands? The Knight, the King of Swords. That's a lot of divine masculine to balance out any feminine. But a lot of wisdom and clarity is also being presented. It's not just the passion of the wands, the courage, the drive, the dedication, and creativity. And it's not just the money and the seeds sown. It's the wisdom of knowing when to harvest, when to speak, and when to just let someone just stew in it. That's their journey, right? Understanding that it's okay for there to be power and the responsibility of it all. These things have meaning for you. And it doesn't have to be a torturous, bone-weary, way of experiencing and honoring this life. What's the epilogue? Oh, it's the Knight of Cups, fam. It's like this knight has been sitting here the whole time going, I knew you were going to show up at some point, so I waited. Here you go. You look thirsty. You look so thirsty. It's a lovely balance. We finally got our cups. There could be a message coming in, and you're ready for it. There could be change and things happening that, maybe you're worried because it's all new and unknown and you don't want to mess it up. You're not going to. You're going to know exactly what you need to do. And you're going to know because you remember that even if you trip and stumble, it's okay. You still got this. You can change your mind. You can breathe. You can have friends and community. You can respect and be respected. You have all of the things, all of the tools that you need to carry on. But there may also be a message coming in. Wow, fam, what's on the bottom of the tarot? Wow, we have the Hierophant and the High Priestess, which are kind of different sides of a coin if you want. Interesting. And a 2 card. Jeez Louise, the cards just be carding. Did I shuffle these? I think I did. Maybe you're wondering what God wants from you, what the universe, what they're expecting from you. You got to remember that you still have free will. Fate's going to fate and do its thing, but you still have your free will. So be sure that you're not asking of anyone outside of yourself for something you really can provide for yourself. Okay? You bought the game. So this is, if you're new here, I used to test video games. And even still now, there are times I'm playing a game and I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing. And that's a very common phrase that comes out of my mouth. The fuck do these devs want from me? Like, where am I going? You know, like I was talking about earlier about the puzzle games. Like, what? You know, it's not always so obvious to me. But at the same time, lol, because I know I'm just being silly. It's a video game. What? It doesn't even matter. And usually I just need to turn it off and do something else. My brain, my whatever has moved on to something else. And maybe that is some nuts and bolts for you. Maybe there's something you're confused about. You don't understand what you're supposed to be doing. Put that game away for a bit. Go do something else. Not to be condescending or dictator, but maybe you just need to take 5. You know what I mean? Just go do literally anything else. Don't be a freaking League of Legends player doing ranked and then just eventually if we're watching you play, we're just watching your soul drop out of your butt at some point. And it's like, no, you could be doing anything with your life. You could be playing a different game. You could be playing TFT. I'm just saying, right? It's okay if that was a bunch of stuff you don't understand. If there's something that you don't quite have the clarity of, you don't quite, just give yourself a moment. Even if it's only 2 minutes, even if it's only 30 seconds. Think of anything else. Get out of the loop, take a break, and come back at it with a fresh mind. That's something else that we do in the gaming industry. You bring fresh sets of eyes onto the game at the end of testing, just in case, because everybody else has been working on the same assignments or whatever for however long, right? Things that they don't, it's weird that it happens, but humans, psychology, all that, right? Just take a beat, take a moment, take a breath. Put away your laundry before judging me. Okay, thanks. That was written about people who will sit there pointing their fingers with skeletons rotting away, like decomposing in the closet. You know what I mean? A dish full of, a sink full of dishes, and they're telling you to, mow your lawn. Shit like that. Like, there are no comparisons. Instead of being compared, instead of comparing, be inspired by, hey, that person seems to have it all together. Well, they're human too, so clearly it's possible. What's on the bottom? Oh, that's actually something I meant to say in the beginning. This card just rolled out all nonchalantly like they tend to from time to time. When I was pre-shuffling before I hit record, and I meant to say that from the very beginning. So to those who have stuck it out to the end, this is who has been talking with us this whole time. This is who's been sharing this communication. Mine and yours. Either way, whatever these relationships have been, at this time, with where they are, however it is, they are watching over you with love and support. For some, I'm definitely grandmas outweighing the grandpas, though. I'm just saying, there's a lot of feminine. Remember earlier I was talking about balance? Yeah. A lot of grandmas coming through. But there are male elders too. This can also be ancestors just generally, but it is a grandparent. It is grandparents that are very, letting themselves be known as soon as I sat down to set up. All right? I hope that's okay. I know that we don't always have these sugar-coated relationships when folks are down here with us in this life. Things are definitely different once we don't have the crushing humanity in the way. But I think that that's an element that you've been healing. And just, you're not alone. There are people that you probably would not be surprised at all are watching over you. I know that's very vague because I can't tell you who it is. I can't tell you. You know. You can tell me and I listen. That's my part in it. I'm not here to dictate to anyone. I'm gonna, kind of point you in the right direction and let you have your moment. You know what I mean? That's for you. This resonated with you in very particular ways as each individuals within this community and as me. I consider tarot reading similar to acting. Gotta tap into something, don't we? Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sticking it to the end of the reading. And until next time, always remember that I love you.